Russian ATGM teams advanced into Krasnorifa with deadly confidence, ready to shred Ukraine's mechanized lines. They had no idea they were walking straight into a trap that would cost them everything. 6:10 a.m. 3 Russian ATGM teams carrying Kornet and Metis systems crept into the ruins of the Shaktarsa apartment complex. Each launcher could obliterate any APC within a kilometer, all aimed directly at Ukraine's critical reinforcement routes west of Donetsk. One wrong move, and Ukraine's entire mechanized company would be vulnerable. But hidden in the rubble, 2 Ukrainian sniper teams had been lying motionless for over 3 hours. Buried deep in debris with heavy rifles calibrated to perfection, they were the only thing standing between those ATGMs and disaster. High above, UAVs scanned continuously, tracking every enemy movement. The snipers had their targets locked, but the order to fire, not yet. Just seconds remained. If those ATGMs secured their firing lines, Ukraine's armored routes would be cut and the entire sector could collapse in flames. Russia thought they had the advantage. They were dead wrong. The moment all ATGMs entered the kill zone, the snipers pulled their triggers. UAVs dove in, and the ambush exploded into action. What happened to those 3 Russian teams? And how did the entire northern flank change in just minutes? Stay with us. This gets intense. Early morning fog blanketed the outskirts of Krasnorifa, west of Donetsk. Weeks of brutal fighting had turned the area into a wasteland of destroyed buildings and bomb craters. This was the deadly buffer zone between Ukraine's defensive line and Russian forces pushing toward Marinka. The night before, Russia hammered Ukrainian mechanized units with artillery. 2 APCs burned at the old intersection near the abandoned industrial zone. The message was clear. Artillery was just the opening act. ATGMs would come next, and ATGMs are terrifying. In semi-open urban terrain like Krasnorifa, a single Kornet or Metis can punch through any APC or IFV. If Russia seized the high ground near the ruined brick factory, they'd have a direct line of sight down the only road Ukraine could use for armored reinforcements into Marinka. Every Ukrainian maneuver attempt would be cut off, forcing infantry to fight without fire support, an unacceptable risk. Ukrainian intelligence confirmed the worst. From midnight, R-18 reconnaissance UAVs recorded small movements east of Krasnorifa. 3 groups carrying long tubular objects, moving stealthily through shell craters, avoiding main roads, choosing paths hidden from Ukrainian observation. Infrared signatures matched ATGM launch tubes, tripods, equipment boxes, moving in standard Russian anti-tank formation. Most critical, they were heading for the collapsed Shaktarsa apartment complex, a partially standing high point perfect for a dominant ATGM firing nest. The Ukrainian commander studied the map and made his assessment in seconds. They'll push deeper. ATGMs never fire from long range in terrain like this. We wait until they're exactly where we want them. From 3:10 a.m., 2 sniper teams from the 79th Brigade slipped out of the main defensive line, moved through rubble alleys, and took pre-studied positions. They chose firing spots based on 3 critical factors: reasonable 800-meter range to Shaktarsa, stable east-west wind, and the ability to stay hidden from Russian drones sweeping the area at dawn. Their camouflage? Simple but effective. Extra rubble, netting, and mud to blend into the chaotic urban battlefield. Each shooter found a firing slit, a hole in an apartment wall, a crack in a domed roof, a gap between concrete slabs. Rifles rested on sandbags, muscles locked. They'd stay motionless for hours if needed. Overhead, the R-18 UAV flew low and almost silently, mapping every possible tripod position the ATGMs might use. The corner of Shaktarsa's fallen wall, the shell crater near the parking lot, the sloped roof edge. It also identified enemy withdrawal routes, in case they scattered under attack. All feeds went straight to the snipers' handheld devices. Then the UAV sent the first movement image. Russian boots appeared at the edge of a collapsed wall, exactly where predicted. Snipers immediately trained their scopes there, fingers hovering over triggers. The commander's voice crackled through earpieces, short and sharp. Do not fire. They're not deep enough yet. Let them walk into the trap. On the UAV map, the other 2 ATGM groups converged on the same point. The snipers controlled their breathing, lightly gripping their triggers. The trap was set, and the enemy had no idea that every step deeper into Krasnorifa only brought them closer to a point of no return. The first ATGM team emerged from a tree line east of Krasnorifa. 3 men, equipped exactly as expected. One carrying the tripod, one shouldering the Kornet launch tube, the third hauling the missile box. They moved cautiously, short steps, pausing to check corners, maintaining tactical spacing. These weren't regular infantry. These were professional ATGM crews, and their goal was clear: secure the ideal firing position on the western high bank and lock down Ukraine's movement toward Marinka. The UAV kept circling and spotted reinforcements. Two more ATGM teams approaching from different directions, one skirting the northern slope, another along the drainage canal. At least 9 to 10 men total with a minimum of 3 launch tubes. They didn't advance as a single column. They split into 2 prongs for planned crossfire. This was synchronized, professional, and dangerous. On the ground, Ukrainian snipers watched the first team set up their tripod on cracked concrete. One shot now could destroy them before they were ready. The commander's ice-cold voice came through. "Negative. We fire only when all are inside the kill zone." The reason was obvious. Firing early would let the other teams scatter into rubble before Ukraine could lock them down. This mission wasn't to take out one team. It was to wipe out all 3 simultaneously. The sniper slowly exhaled, lowered his heart rate, and kept watching. The first team spread a desert-colored camouflage net, mounted the Kornet tube, and began test ranging toward the broken bridge. They were setting up internal comms, the final step before a complete ATGM system could fire, just a few adjustments away from being operational. The sniper held his target motionless for 12 straight minutes. Dust from a cracked wall settled on his shoulder. He never moved. In combat, that kind of patience is rare. Today, it was everything. Overhead, the R-18 drone kept scanning, clearly marking the enemy's 3 withdrawal routes: the corridor behind the collapsed building, a gap between concrete cliffs, and the long drainage ditch running east. The moment the last ATGM team crossed the ditch, the drone reported, "All ATGMs have entered the lock zone." The air thickened. A Russian operator lay in firing position, eye to the sight, locking straight west, directly on the road Ukraine had to defend at all costs. Just a few more seconds, and when they pulled the trigger, the entire mechanized line would be ripped apart. And then, in that steel-tight moment of tension, the Ukrainian commander spoke one short sentence, low but sharp as an execution order. "Team 1, fire." The first bullet left the barrel almost simultaneously with the order. It punched straight through the Kornet sighting unit, shattering the optics and burying itself in the operator's temple. With no guidance, the missile was useless. The entire crew was paralyzed in a single heartbeat. As the operator's body slumped, a second shot from Sniper Team 2 struck the loader bent over the missile crate. The crate burst open, missiles rolled across concrete, and the soldier collapsed. Another Russian jolted from cover and tried to sprint behind a collapsed wall, but a sniper round tore through from knee to chest, spinning him to the ground. Before the echo died, the second ATGM team panicked and tried to swing their tube toward the muzzle flashes. But the moment the tripod rotated, a Ukrainian FPV drone dove from a blind angle and slammed directly into the tripod leg. Sharp explosion. The tripod flew apart. The launch tube toppled into rubble. That entire crew instantly lost combat capability. Seizing the chaos, a Ukrainian close assault team advanced like a blade. 3 soldiers moved in staggered formation between collapsed walls, tossing fragmentation grenades into corners where ATGM crews tried to hide. The blast echoed, concrete shards flew, and Ukrainian soldiers moved in, engaging targets at point-blank range. The Russians never had a chance to return effective fire. Meanwhile, the reconnaissance UAV spotted one intact ATGM system next to a tarp-covered pickup behind the ruined building. A Russian soldier was hoisting the Yeksh launch tube onto his shoulder, attempting to flee toward the drainage ditch. The drone team didn't hesitate. An FPV dove straight through the tarp and detonated meters from the target. The pickup erupted in smoke. The final ATGM was completely destroyed. When all explosions faded, the snipers swept the area through their scopes. Nothing moved. The assault team reached the rally point and reported no ATGMs operational. All that remained were broken tripods, shattered launch tubes, unfired missiles, and scattered equipment. Ukraine had wiped out all 3 ATGM teams in minutes, crushing Russia's plan to lock down the Krasnorifa mechanized route the moment it began, while smoke from the first ambush still hung in the air. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this.